We're going to talk now to Colin Gillis of BGC Partners about eBay and find out that whole issue of whether they're shifting their mix of products. All right, so Colin Gillis, you follow the company for BGC Partners. You've got a hold rating on the shares of eBay. $25 is the 12-month price target for the stock. How is eBay doing in this transition of trying to get you to stop, bidding for things and just go ahead and buy, Colin Gillis?
So what we try to do, Pimm, when we look at eBay, you got to break the company down into two pieces, and this is one of the issues with eBay, right? PayPal, which is the payment piece, as Julie was saying, it's a star, and people are using the internet to pay for goods. And if you look at PayPal, this is the fourth quarter in a row that they've processed more than $20 billion in payment values. In fact, total payment value was $22 billion. That's up 26%, and the revenue for PayPal was up 22% year-over-year basis. So that's pretty good. On a sequential basis, it was 2%. It's not quite Apple's 30% sequential growth, but again, it's decent. Now, the next piece is the marketplace, and that's what people historically tend to think about with eBay, which is, let's go online and let's buy a good. Perhaps it's a used good, perhaps it's a new good, and the marketplace is still very sluggish. I mean, the total growth was only 3% year-over-year, 1% sequentially. So we are waiting for the marketplace piece of eBay to pick up some steam.
All right, so what do you think about PayPal, though? I mean, is that going to be the driving force for the stock?
PayPal is a driving force. It's still only 35% of the revenue. It's very reasonable that PayPal becomes larger than the marketplace itself because it's extending off of the eBay marketplace platform. It's being used by Facebook. It's powering payments across many other sites, and it's a secure locker for a lot of your payment data. So if you don't want to give your credit card data to another site that may perhaps be less secure, PayPal is a good way to get around that.
Colin, what about the mobile aspect of eBay's business? Have they been doing well getting their mobile app out to the world at large?
Sure, and that's actually a great point. It's one of the things we highlighted in our preview because we're not negative on eBay. It is just in the middle of a turnaround, so we're kind of picking our time. If you think about the stock on a year-to-date basis, or the one-year total return, it's about 2.4%. The S&P is about 8% compared to over the same year period. But the mobile piece, while small, is starting to grow. I mean, they're going to be doing 3x the mobile transactions. They have great apps on the iPhone for people to both buy and to sell.
And so what's your best pick right now in the technology space, Colin? You're talking about a hold on eBay. What stock do you really like?
So, if you want to own a name that's got growth in the technology space that's taking advantage of the mobile trends, you want to own Apple, right? It's still a reasonable valuation. They're sitting on boatloads of cash. And the fact of the matter is that, Apple, with their new lineup of the MacBooks that are coming out today, continues to be a go-to device for digital dollars.
Well, in today, Steve Jobs releasing the new Lion operating system for MacBooks, coming out with this MacBook Air. It's one of the thinnest products that they've actually introduced, and they say that they borrowed from the adoption of the iPad and the iPhone to put some of that functionality into the laptops.
Yeah, there's a virtuous circle going on in Apple, right? We call it the halo effect. People who are buying their iPhones and their iPads are now taking their computing dollars and buying Macintosh laptops and desktops. In fact, we had record Mac sales in the September quarter, and that's on the heels of record sales in the June quarter. And so the timeliness of this is fantastic. Half of the people who walk into Apple's retail stores that are buying Macintoshes are new Macintosh customers, and that's a big plus.
And Colin, what do they say about the Mac stores that have been opening up in China? How have they been doing?
Yeah, you've seen the lines around the block. I mean, it's a pretty strong phenomenon that's happening internationally for Apple. And again, this is an important point because many people internationally don't have exposure to Apple products. So Apple continues to do what Apple does. They're going to open up another 50 stores next year. Over half of them in international markets. It's going to continue to be the go-to brand for digital computing.
All right, you're our go-to man when it comes to technology. I want to thank you very much, Colin Gillis, coming to us from BGC Partners.